Well, what's up, everybody? We have, I actually think you're my first male guest.
There we go. We're bucking the trend.
Yeah. My first male guest, Jason, here. Some funny backstory on this, and I didn't even tell you this, but Dylan was really embarrassed when I had reached out to your company because, for context, Jason and Dylan became gym friends at the other Equinox. What, you guys known each other for like a year?
No, so we were at the same gym at the same time for about a year, and then we both happened to switch locations, and it was the first day at the new location, and we saw a familiar face, and that's what really spurred the first interaction.
Oh, no, it's so nice knowing that my boyfriend talks with other people, because sometimes I'm like, you don't really know how your significant other interacts in the real world sometimes. Like, I don't follow him to work, I don't know how he is at work, I know how his colleagues speak of him, but it's nice to hear that, like, he engages with his buddies.
And then he gives you an inch, and you hit me up on 5 DMs, 5 emails,
literally,
a text.
Yes, yes. And Dylan was so embarrassed. He's like, "What the heck?" He's like, "That's my friend." I'm like, whatever. I'm like, this is business, baby. Like,
amazing.
You got to shoot your shot. But I was really compelled to reach out to you guys because of the technology and the company that you guys are working on and starting with the app, with the Ganance and the watches. And it was really interesting. And now there's so much more about you too that I want to dive into, and just like kind of how you're able to do a lot of things. And you seem like a really passionate person, and like you care a lot about your health and wellness and longevity of your life and living probably a healthy life this whole time. But that was initially really cool. So I'm excited to dive into that. But I think a good starting point, we can probably jumpstart off of the Ganance stuff and talk about the technology and how it attaches to watches and what it tracks and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I can actually start from the very, very beginning.
Yep.
So the original story of Ganance predates me. This goes back a number of years ago, where the original founder, Alex Ocampo, who's based out of Chicago, he was first generation Mexican-American immigrant family, first person in his family to go to college, get a big job at IBM here in New York, and celebrate the moment, celebrate this big family accomplishment. His big brother bought him a beautiful Citizens Echo watch to, again, commence the moment and this accomplishment. Yeah. So undergrad Alex is probably bopping around Murray Hill doing God knows what in that watch that he adored, that he loved. So then fast forward a couple years from there was the explosion of the wearable market. So Garmin watches came out, Apple Watch came out, and after a little while, he found himself not wearing his Citizens Echo anymore, and ended up sort of trading that for his stats and his data and his Garmin, right?
Big, so bulky watch.
Exactly.
They're so ugly. Yeah, they're so ugly.
So fast forward a couple years from there, his brother that bought him that watch had a bit of a health scare, pretty serious one. He ended up being okay, but it was at that time that Alex sort of had this like whoa moment of like, why can't I have both? The data that he cherishes from his Garmin and the watch that he cherishes from his brother. So he was actually crazy enough to develop the Heir all those years ago. So now, fast forward a couple years from there, if you're still with me, this is early 2024 when I come into the picture, where a coworker of mine at my full-time consulting job more or less sort of dragged me to this event that he was referred to at the Meatpacking Breitling watch boutique.
Oh, nice.
Where he was like, Jason, there's this crazy idea, this crazy invention. A former coworker of mine turns any watch into a smartwatch. So I was a little bit hungover that afternoon, and I was like, all right, whatever, like I'll come. I was sort of reluctant to go, but then sure enough, when I tried on the Heir, when I met Alex for the first time, I said to him, I don't give a shit what you say. I am joining your company. I am joining your team. I'm in. I don't care what you say.
Wow.
So since that afternoon, I've been working nights and weekends with Alex, building this product, building this company.
Wait, crazy. And you weren't even going to go, potentially.
I was not a happy camper before on our way there.
Yeah, it's like such divine timing. Wow, that was meant to be. So what about it when you met him and you tried it? Like, can you explain like what the technology is? Maybe you can like even show it to the camera too.
Yeah.
Like, what about it were you like, holy crap, this is amazing? Had you had a similar instance in your life where you have nice watches and you weren't able to wear them when we're swapping them for Garmin and Apple watches?
Totally.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think millions of consumers can relate to this daily predicament that at least I was in.
Yeah.
Every morning getting dressed. Was it, do I wear my Speedmaster that I love, that means so much to me? Or do I wear my Apple Watch because of all of the, features and functions, right? So again, when I tried it on, it was a life-changing moment. So I'll do my best to do both here to the camera.
Oh no, you can put it down.
Okay. So if you're seeing this, here's my watch here, and here's the device. Mm-hmm. So it attaches onto any case back.
And it's not suction. Yeah, I remember when you said that, I was like, what the hell?
So magnets would break the mechanics of any mechanical watch.
Whoa.
So it's magnets, so it can really stick onto any surface that it has the surface area for.
Whoa.
But on the back of your watch, it adds...
So once you put the Air on the back of any watch, it instantly enhances it with smartwatch features. Uh-huh. It tracks your activity. It vibrates when you get calls or texts. You're able to answer or reject a phone call by tapping your watch face, all from any watch.
Tapping the top?
Tapping the watch your face can either pause or play your music, skip a song, answer or reject a phone call, all from any watch.
How?
So it basically can sense the motion of the force, I should say, from the bounce of the force of your tap. So
because of the microsections or whatever.
Because of like the actual operations in the actual device.
Yeah.
It can sense that pressure, that bounce.
And it has Bluetooth? So
it connects to our mobile app, which we have for Android and Apple. That again collects all of your data, analyzes it, comes up with cool, neat graphs and trends. You're able to customize your notification settings. So who vibrates, what vibrates, your boyfriend calls you, it gets 2 taps. Your mom calls you, it gets 3 taps.
Whoa.
So the idea is, again, people get to keep their style, but also get all the features and function that they come to expect.
Yeah. No, it's so simple, but I actually, once I heard of what you guys did and looked on your website, I was like, how the hell has Apple not thought about this? Why do you think they have? They probably have. Yeah.
So what I would say to that one is Apple specifically, because that was the first question I had too.
It seems easy to make for them.
Apple is sort of like a marketing company, right? So they don't want to be, our main value prop is discreet and invisible. They like to be loud and proud.
Oh, yep.
Right?
Yeah, great point.
So that's really the vertical in the wearable space that we want to own and operate is invisible and modular. So, getting a little bit ahead of myself here, the future of where we want to take this company, watches are really just the beginning. People are used to this form factor for tracking their activity, getting all their data from their wrist.
Right.
But we see this going in so many different directions. So, for women specifically, bras, undergarments, you can think about a golf glove. You can think about a ski mitt.
Yeah.
There's so many different directions that this type of technology can take us.
Right.
Watches are really just the beginning.
Yeah, truly. Yeah, like a bra too. But that would, wait, wow. Okay, wait, that, my brain. That's so cool. It's like crazy to think of something as simple as like undergarments for a woman every single day, having that track. Even in your sports bra, going to the gym and tracking your heart rate throughout your workout instead of having to go to Orange Theory and put on the disgusting heart rate monitors that they would give you or that you would have to purchase yourself, and that you just don't use. Like, there's so much data in our day-to-day life that, I mean, I'd be interested to get your thoughts here because it's kind of like a double-edged sword. I have a particular opinion about the data around your health. I think it's overall a huge benefit. And I think something like this is just massive because it's not trying to make a statement. It's truly, you guys aren't trying to show your company like Apple. That was a great point that you made. You're really just there to allow people to incorporate the wonderful things that they've probably spent a lot of money on and worked really hard for, really sentimental items, and incorporate that with just taking care of your health and just understanding baseline where you are every single day. But for me, with the Oura rings, with the Apple Watches, Garmin's, like all of these different devices, I almost felt like I was getting like too obsessive over it and over the data. That's why I haven't gotten an Oura ring, and I don't think I will, because I don't want something to tell me that I haven't had a good night's sleep when I woke up and felt rested.
Yeah.
Like it can really fuck with me mentally. And that's why I ended up selling my Apple Watch even years ago, because I was like, calories. I was like a poor fucking sophomore in college. I'm like, I'm like, what do I want? This isn't even accurate. I hate this thing. Overall net positive, but there's just one side that I've always thought, as we advance into even more wearable devices, like, will we be even more obsessed with the numbers?
Yeah, I'm laughing here because what you're like describing is something we just talked about. We just had our first all hands.
Oh, nice.
Company all hands, which sounds so official.
Yeah, that is official.
But we talked about how we want our product to be leveraged and be perceived by our users. And that is one of our fears, is information overload, information anxiety, is something I experienced when I tried a handful of those products as well myself. So what we really want to be perceived as and how we want to position ourselves is really we are our users' sidekick. We are a seamless, non-compromising assistant to you. We want to help you on your wellness journey in whatever form or fashion that is, right? So it's not for us to say that you're doing this wrong or you need to be doing more of this, but it's more about just sort of reading the news and being there in whatever capacity you want. So I think it speaks to both the software on the mobile app side, just the way that works with the hardware side, because again, that's our main value prop, is the lack of compromise. It's the discretion.
Yeah.
It's the invisibility. So it's really, we are here for you. We want to adjust our technology to the people, to the humans, to the consumers. Consumers should not have to bend themselves to the tech that they choose to wear. And that's really, from like a higher lens, a problem that we see in the current wearable market. From like a psychological perspective.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, oh, I don't want to have that second glass of wine because my ring's going to yell at me.
Right. Yeah.
And
I don't want to wear my watch
real.
to work because it's going to tell me to stand up every hour and it gets annoying.
That's real. We are going to be there for our consumers in whatever form or fashion they want us to be.
Right. So even like having maybe a notification where it's like, snooze this for the rest of the day. Like you can track it, but like don't tell me anything.
Yeah.
But even still, like I think I don't know if you guys have run statistics on this. I would think a buyer, like a ICP for you guys, someone has a high propensity to purchase, wouldn't necessarily be thinking like me. It's probably someone that has used devices in the past. So maybe it is a larger majority because there's been so many wearable devices out there. But I would imagine people who have purchased the device or would want to are already open to wanting to start having a baseline to track that, or are comfortable continuing to track it.
Yeah.
Like I actually think you guys are in a great position because we've already had exposure to having this data. It's not like you guys are adding more data. It's just like a better, more wearable way to do it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I mean, it's one of those things that we're ultimately, one of our foundations as a company is human-centered design. So we have a community newsletter of the most supportive people that have both purchased the Heir and are sort of sitting on the sidelines to see how it goes. And
the Heir is the device.
The Heir is the device, HEIR. We go to them with surveys seemingly every single month to get their feedback on where they want to see this current product enhanced from a software perspective, and where they want to see the second generation of the Heir with more advanced biometrics, where they want to see that go, right? So again, I don't know that it's necessarily for us to ultimately have unilateral decision on where this product should go in the future, but we want to bring our community with us. And we want them to ultimately tell us what they want us to, what options and features and functions they want to see the most.
Yeah. And how big is this community, or small?
A couple 10,000.
Oh my God. I thought you were saying like 100.
No, not 100. Not 100.
Oh my God. Is that like, are there like unanimous things that they are suggesting to do? Or sometimes is it so much that you're like, we really need to? So
the original, the V1 here, the most unilateral output or consensus was steps and notifications. That was number one, which is what we have. We have activity tracking and notifications, and again, the media control and tap control, I should say. For V2, there's definitely more of a disparate results from the survey, but I would say generally it's heart rate and sleep are probably the two most requested features for the next generation.
So right now, what can it track? List it out.
So it's activity tracking, so steps, duration, distance, time, calories, the notification control, as mentioned, and the tap control. And we're coming out with more advanced software features as we go. So just taking a step back, I don't think I've explained. So we shipped out our first major production batch this past summer of 1,000 units.
Only this past summer?
This past summer, in August. So my life's been a mess since then.
Jeez.
So it was 1,000 paid reservations that all got shipped out in August, and we sold out. And then
I've added myself to the wait list. I was like, whoa.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Of course.
And then we have a very small batch going out later this month, and then our next major batch is going to be in spring of next year.
Whoa.
So we're hoping to never be in the pre-reservation phase ever again, because that's not fun for anyone.
Yeah, it's better for your business.
It's good to have a sense of the demand.
Totally.
But I'm so curious to see what the traction is going to be like when someone could say, I want this in a week, and it'll be there. So
in the spring cohort would be the newer version, or
it's going to be the advanced software features that we're rolling out with basically every week, but the hardware is going to be the same until the second generation.
Okay. And is there like a ETA for the second gen?
I don't think so.
Okay. Because I would imagine as you guys are needing to track more things, is the how much space you have a problem?
So you mean the wearability?
Yeah, like the fact that it is going under your watch and you're adding all this additional like sleep tracking, etc. How is that going to fit?
I'm glad you asked.
Oh, okay.
So if the camera could see, so this is what we're calling the Heir band.
Right. Okay, I've seen you wear this at the gym.
Yeah, so I wear this at the gym, so you've seen this, where it's basically a hoister for the Heir to just stick on the back, and then it goes with any standard nylon strap. So the idea is, this is sort of our first take on the modular aspect of this device.
Gotcha.
Right? So when you're sleeping, when you're working out, and you don't necessarily want to do that in your watch, like I don't, and you still want to get all the features and function and tracking of the Heir,
right,
you would throw it on the Heir band. So we have our first dozen prototypes out in the wild now. So now I'm starting to curate those feedbacks to see how people like it, what changes they would want to make. So all to say, that's one aspect of it. But to your point about the form factor of the device. So like I said, we just had our first 1,000 users. I don't know if this number is exact, but I would say we had only 2 or 3 returns that specifically cited that the device was too large or it made the watch wearing process uncomfortable.
Whoa. So
I know this was already validated during our smaller beta run, but I would say 95 to 96% of people, when they wear the Heir, after a few minutes, they totally forget that it's on.
Yeah.
And very seldom does anyone ever notice that it's on. So a great anecdotal story. And again, I'm a little bit biased.
Yeah, of course.
But my favorite anecdotal story about the sizing aspect of the device is, so I have this full-time corporate job. I'm in technology consulting. And up until about 2 months ago, I actually kept it a secret from my full-time colleagues for a number of reasons. Turned out to be not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But I kept it a secret.
Yeah.
And I was really weird about it. So at any rate, I wore the device and my watch for a year and a half, a year and 3/4.
Yeah.
And not a single time did any of my colleagues who there wasn't any real implications to them finding out.
They never detected because it doesn't.
But they never called it out. And these are people that I work with every day, and they're people that I go out with. And, you know, if they didn't notice, I think that's such a great anecdote to speak to the discretionary aspect of the product.
What would you have expected them to say? Like, what was your worry?
Well, I was worried for them to be like, what's that thing under your watch? And then I have to like, I'm a bad liar.
Yeah.
So I'd have to be like, oh, I don't know. Something I saw on Instagram.
That's so funny.
Again, there weren't any implications. It was just like an uncomfortable conversation that I wasn't really ready to have at the time.
Yeah. You're like, this is like something that I'm devoting my time to.
Right.
And corporate wants your time.
Exactly. You got it.
Wait, that's so funny. But one area though that I think, I don't know if you guys have thought about this, is the small watches, like small watch faces, like especially for women. I prefer a larger watch face for women and for myself, but for the smaller ones, I mean, I'm sure that's a hurdle later on. And hopefully the technology actually will be developed, because and our smartphones can do so much with those microchips, like, is that the vision of the founders, that they want to be able to like consolidate it down into a tiny chip?
Of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What I would say is any of the features that come to mind, any of the form factors that come to mind, they're all possible. It's just a matter of, frankly, time and money.
Right.
Right. So Whoop, Aura, Apple.
Whoop. Yeah.
They have 10, 15 years on ahead of us. They have however many billions of dollars of funding ahead of us. So it's all possible. It's all feasible. It's all in our product roadmap long term.
Yeah.
Just a matter of time and money.
Yeah, totally. And your position for them is like, kind of sounds like PM, kind of sounds like sales, sounds like community engagement and like customer feedback. Do you have a distinguished role?
So I think my title is co-founder, head of growth and operations. But, there's really not many of us. We're all wearing many, many different hats. So the way I would sort of describe my role is, leading sales, marketing, community, branding, and then the internal operation stuff, which is boring. So, this has nothing to do with my professional background.
Yeah.
I come from software development and tech enablement and data and analytics. Nothing to do with consumer electronics.
You don't feel like there's any overlap? Like you're like utilizing some of your... What?
Maybe some project management elements from corporate America and maybe some communication skills. But ultimately, what I think my best contribution to this team is that I am the exact demographic of who we are selling to. I am the voice of the customer, and I really try and I hope that that's cognizant, and I hope it's present in all of my interactions with customers, in all of my marketing efforts, in all of my social media posts. And I think that that's really my main value prop. Okay. To my team.
Wait, that's great. So what is the ICP then? If you say you are it, what is?
So our demographic is what we call corporate athletes. So I would also say your boyfriend is in this as well.
Yeah, I am too. For sure.
It's not the extreme.
Corporate athletes. Love that. That could be a t-shirt.
There you go. It's not the extreme 10% of athletes, and it's not the extreme 10% of watch wearers, because those two groups, like, I love them both, but they're going to be stuck in their ways. They're not messing around with anything else. Yep. Right. So that middle 80% of people that want to feel their best, they want to look their best, they want to perform at a high level. Again, we are there as their assistant. We are there as their sidekick. Yeah. We are there without compromise. That's really how we like to perceive ourselves and be perceived. So, when it comes to social, when it comes to advertising from my side, it's really about exposing that problem that we all have. Again, every morning, do I wear my Apple Watch? Do I wear my Speedmaster? That divergence, that compromise, it's about showcasing that, and it's about just exposing what this product can ultimately do.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So simple, but like makes so much sense. And I mean, I can only imagine how much I could just see you guys like skyrocketing in the next like few months when people get your product in their hands, more hands they have it. I feel like it'll spread like wildfire. But wait, this is a problem that you guys might face. How will word spread if people aren't wearing it and they're like, oh, what's that?
Yes, that keeps me up at night.
Okay, yeah.
Because the main value prop is also an obstacle to marketing and showcasing. So that's a great open question that I don't think I have the right answer to, but it's a great question. Yeah. Right. So one thing that I'm our two biggest opportunities.
Word of mouth is pretty fucking powerful though. So.
Yeah. So our biggest two unlocks for me from my side for 2026 is going to be two things that we really haven't been able to do because we just haven't had inventory. Well, I take that back. One of them is because we have not had inventory, which is really diving into the creator content world. So once we get our influencer marketing windmill going, it's going to be such an unlock for us in terms of spreading the word, in terms of hitting the people that are the right demographic.
Yeah.
Because again, one of our catch-alls is one of the benefits and also one of the catches of this product is that it applies to so many different demographics. It applies to athletes. It applies to corporates. It applies to stylists. Everyone.
Yeah, it applies to everyone who has a conscious and like is like, oh yeah, I'm curious how my body is existing.
Right. So
just get baseline.
From like a marketing demographic perspective, we've seen style people have resonated the best in terms of messaging.
Like true like stylists?
True, not professional stylists, but people that heavily index their time and energy into style.
Okay, so that could mean
style.
like a corporate person.
Right.
Okay. Dylan.
Yeah, again, Dylan is a perfect example. You don't have any
idea because you see him at work, or at the gym, but he very much cares about his outfits.
He's a stylish guy at Equinox.
He is.
So that's sort of the catch, but at the same time, it's such an unlock for us to be able to go down all of those different avenues and get the word out about the product. So that's number one. That's going to be unlocked when we have inventory. Thank goodness. The second one is, frankly, on me. And it's just been on a lack of availability and sort of going to the back of the back burner is just organic social media. I am so bad at it.
It's a consistent practice. Yeah.
Exactly. So trying to be more conscious and aware of how we can present ourselves and tell our story, because we have a great story to tell between Alex and his family and me and my corporate and startup type of the struggle there. And also just the product itself. There's such a good story to tell.
Yeah.
That once we get that ball rolling, I think it's going to be such a major unlock for us.
Totally. It's just starting. Starting is the hardest part, but you guys already have started the hardest part of the company. So
there's always another challenge.
There's always another starting line as well. When it got brought up with Dylan, like what was that conversation? Like I'm sure you are commonly and assuringly getting positive feedback when you do share about it. Like, what are those conversations like when it's brought up? Are you bringing it up?
It's always such a refreshing reaction that people always get. It's always like an eyebrow raise.
Yeah.
And it's always like, wait, what? Does it do this? Does it do that? And, it's the same exact thing that I experience as well. So him and I were just asking each other what we do, having a pretty casual guy locker room interaction. And whenever I describe myself as saying that I work at a startup, that always does also pique someone's ears.
You lead with that versus...
I do.
Okay. I do. That is branding. So
I think it's a more interesting and fun story to tell.
Yep.
And
when you don't want to talk to someone, you'll say... that's when we'll know Jason doesn't want to talk.
Exactly. That's a good idea, actually. Because I do that very often. I'm not a people person.
Yeah. I don't think that.
So yeah, anytime I lead with I run a startup, it always gets people's attention. And yeah, I mean, I would be lying if I said I'm not, excited to talk about the product and, also again, get that level of motivation and refreshing.
It's reassuring. It's always motivational. It's exciting to get to get that type of reaction from people that I know the product is going to resonate with. Right. So we talked about
just went
Dylan
out.
being
My
a perfect
memory card
exemplification
was out of memory.
Of a corporate athlete.
Recording thing was going to run out of battery.
I know that the Equinox demographic is who we're ultimately going to listen.
Right,
so
we're rolling with the
whenever I tell people I run a startup, it always piques their interest. And then live television, wearable technology, they're like, what's that mean?
Yeah.
And then when I say we turn any watch into a smartwatch, it really always gets people to be like, what the heck is this guy talking about?
Yeah.
Right.
But it must click for them really quickly.
Yeah. I mean, it is ultimately a super simple idea that we've all thought about without necessarily knowing about it, without necessarily knowing it.
It's a pain we've all felt.
It's a pain we've all felt, right? So as soon as you say those 5 or 6 words, we turn any watch into a smartwatch, it always resonates with people.
Yeah.
And it's like I said earlier, I would be lying if I said I didn't crave that little ego boost.
Yep.
Whenever I say it.
No, totally. I actually do feel like the female demographic might surprise you because there's so many women in classes that wear their watches, their Rolexes, like their nice stuff. And I'm like, this is a heated class. What are you doing? But like the Rolexes, they're like, those watches are designed for, which is ridiculous, for like insane situations. Like, isn't the Submariner like for diving? Like stupid.
You mean you're not going down 300 meters?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what? But then again, men were at war previously, and now we sit behind computers.
Right.
So it's
yes, click-clacking.
Everything evolves. But I do think women. Whoa.
Whoops. Blooper reel is filling in.
It's a good thing it's not recording. I do think women will be like surprise you because so many of them wear their watches.
The appetite and the interest from women has blown me away.
Yeah.
It's blown me away. I think that women are so eager for a solution, and I think the ring definitely speaks more to them than the other alternatives. If I had to guess, I'm not as in tune with that customer with that personification because it's not me.
Yeah.
But I think that women are so eager for the invisible, I'll say it again, the invisible aspect of this, because they're probably most considerate about their style and the way they present themselves and the way they feel based on their outfit.
Yeah.
So I think that the product and the value prop, it leans so much into the women and the female demographic that once we make certain additions from a hardware and software perspective, the female market's going to go nuts.
Right.
The female market's going to go nuts.
Yeah. And how ideally do you want people interacting with the app? Not only just like wearing, but like digesting and like understanding the information that is being received. Like, how would you imagine it? In the morning, at night, checking it, or
that's a good
end
question.
of the week, or
that's a good question. So we're rolling out a home screen widget, which will showcase your activity throughout the day. But that's a really interesting question that I honestly have not really thought about because. So I know you had the Apple Watch. You have never done the rings, correct? So I know that the rings come to mind where I think that their answer to that question would be in the morning after their night's sleep.
Yeah,
right?
And that's what you can share as well, like your score.
Yeah, that's a really good question.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to think about that.
Right,
I'm going to have to think about that.
It's like almost you have to feed into that consumerism and like the scoring in a way.
And the gamification is something else that I think we've sputtered around a little bit internally, where maybe you compete with people that are wearing the same watch as you. Maybe you compete with people that are at the same gym as you, doing the same things as you, where we can really tap into the community aspect of this product and what we represent.
Yeah,
which is also another one of my major checklist items for 2026. So community. I said it earlier when I talked about the first 1,000 units and them helping us shape the future iterations as well. But community is one of my major lessons learned from this past shipment, where no go live for any business is going to go perfectly smooth. Doesn't matter if it's software. It doesn't matter if it's
no podcast recording goes perfectly smooth.
Exactly. I do think that consumer electronics, specifically a brand new technology, has certain additional difficulties and complexities when it comes to the first few weeks of being rolled out. So, for every customer issue and troubleshooting exercise and enhancement request that we got an equal amount of supportive messages of people that were giving us kudos, supporting us to keep going, to, saying how good of a job we're doing. And like the community has been so powerful and so motivational to us that they just keep us going. And I truly do think that that's a differentiator for us so far.
Those are the people that you're going to protect forever.
Early adopters, I can tell you every single name of the 1,000.
Wow.
I'm only kidding.
Where are they located?
All over.
Globally?
Globally, yeah. Primarily in America, of course, but we've shipped to Australia, we've shipped to Japan, a bunch actually in Japan, and a lot of Western European countries.
Wow. And how did they find you, or you find them?
So we have about a 50-50 split of our paid conversions. So half of it is through Facebook advertising, meta advertising, and then the other is organic, which I think is a really great watermark to hit, or it's a great figure for us to hit, that 50% organic search. And I think it's just because it speaks to the product and it speaks to the novelty of it and the need for it, where, you know, again, you face that issue. So it's like, why not Google, how do I make my watch a smartwatch?
Right.
How do I do that?
Yeah.
And then you stumble on our website, and sure enough, here we are.
That is one of the SEO, like search engine optimization that you guys have.
Funny enough, I was looking at this last night. And yeah, that's one of our top queries is make any watch smart.
Yeah. Because I can imagine like wearable devices, like the cost to be high on the SEO there is really high.
That's tough to compete with those guys.
Another thing you guys should look into, and maybe you've, from your corporate job, have seen this, but like the generative search companies like Profound, those where you can populate yourself higher in a chat GPT search. Like somebody searches, what should my next wearable, like what wearable device should I get? I'm 26. I care about my health. I sit all day at a job. You pay the software to then populate you guys higher.
Oh, it's called Profound?
One of them's called Profound, but it's generative AI search. Like
right.
It's like a whole nother genre for marketing teams.
And SEO. Next gen SEO.
It's new AI SEO.
Yeah, I felt that was more about web scraping. So your contents in Reddit, for example, is what generates Gen AI SEO. But that's great to hear that there's a service that can sort of
propel you a bit higher.
Leap you ahead there.
More information.
So that's good to know. I'm going to definitely look into that.
Yeah, I can send you the names of the companies. I had interviewed at this one company, actually. That's how I know it. And one of my coworkers' wives works there. And like the deals that she's working on, it ranges from like Johnson & Johnson to like Chanel to like Citibank. Like it's like the craziest.
Big dogs.
Yeah, it's all big dogs for her, but it's just like it's not vertical specific. It's across all different industries.
Got it.
Because it's marketing spend. It's how people are finding you.
Everyone does it.
Yeah, right.
So, but yeah, funny enough, like again, I was looking into this last night, just our Google search results, and I Googled how do I turn any watch smart? And Google's AI assistant, it pulled us up.
Amazing.
It pulled us up. They were like, you can stick the Air onto the back of any watch.
Wow.
And we were like, sick.
Did it hyperlink you guys too, or?
I think so.
Wow, that's sick.
I think so. So that was a win for last night for sure.
Yeah, and like just dump that query into chat and be like, what are other ways that people say this? And then make sure that you populate high in all those searches too.
There you go.
Yeah. Wow. So do you have your family on this too?
They are supportive.
They're supportive?
They are supportive. It's funny. I was telling my mom just about the struggle of sort of prioritizing a lot of different priorities that I want to do a good job in both my consulting career and this startup, of course, that I'm super passionate about. I'm super passionate about both. And again, I want to do a good job in both.
Yeah. And
it's just funny how moms will be moms and they'll want you to stay safe and collect the paycheck. And it was just a funny interaction to sort of give them an idea of what my day-to-day is and just some of the sacrifices that I've been doing for the past 2 years, and ultimately just how much fun I've also been having running this company.
That's great. Yeah, I feel like that's such a missed. Even people saying that too. Like I've interviewed quite a few people, and it's not, honestly, them saying I'm having fun is not something that comes up initially. It always is fun. They always are having it, but it's not like top of mind to even say that. So the fact that you can remind yourself that like these two things I'm doing are both optional. You don't need to do either.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
You nailed it.
Yeah, they're both voluntary. Like you can choose not to work a corporate job and like go work at Big Gay Ice Cream across the street, or walk dogs, or like do something that like actually is really connected to you. And in everything you do, there's always going to be an element of sacrifice. It's just how much do you want to sacrifice. And most importantly, it's easier to sacrifice when you are enjoying yourself. It doesn't feel so sacrificial.
You absolutely nailed it. You nailed it. So most days for me is I wake up at 5:30. I work out next to you and Dylan at 6 or 7 o'clock, whatever it is. Go to my day job at 8 to 6, whatever it might be. And then typically from like 6 to 10, I'm working on this. And exactly like you said, when I'm struggling and when it feels like work at 9 o'clock, I truly am like, I am choosing to do this. I am having fun, as weird as that sounds. It's not always fun. It does feel like work sometimes, but it is optional. It's because I want to be doing this. It's because I believe in what we're doing, and I'm passionate about solving this problem.
Totally. That's amazing. And the fact that you're working that much every single day, I'm like...
My personal life has taken a backseat. My dating life is non-existent.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, in New York too, both those things are hard to do.
My friends give me a hard time all the time, just how dating is priority number 7 for me at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I feel like that's the best case for people. My theory, and I say this coming from a very privileged place of being in a secure relationship, not saying that's better than anybody else. Sometimes being single is way better. Is living your life and doing the things you want to do. Those other people, your lives will merge. Totally. Like you'll cross paths with someone that's probably equally as busy with you, but it was like meant to be because you guys are just like pursuing your like divine thing. And
timing is like 3/4 of the battle in a lot of these cases.
And that's how you even ended up with what you're doing now too, is timing.
You got it.
Wow. So you're very busy. You're doing a lot. Your mom's worried about you.
Where else would I rather spend my Friday night? If I could speak.
Yes. I know. Talking with your gym friend's girlfriend on a podcast that she couldn't figure out for literally an hour.
Where else would I rather be?
Oh my God. Have you always really cared about your health your whole life? Have you always grown up caring about fitness and well-being?
So my family has a bit of a history with heart issues. I have had a number of early-ish deaths on my mom's side of the house. So I was very exposed to that. So maybe subconsciously that led to me always wanting to be being active, if I could speak, and being into fitness. So it really picked up later stages of high school and into college when I met some of my buddies that knew everything about this stuff. And then I sort of hit puberty late in college. I got muscles and facial hair for the first time senior year. And I was like, all right, this is great. The girls are into it. This is great. And I really now it's just been part of my routine that if I don't go to the gym in the morning, my whole day is just cooked. So now it's part like mental disorder.
It's a religion.
So fitness has definitely been a major part of my life. Again, probably it definitely hit most in the early stages of college, and then it really picked up since then. So I've always been into it. When the Apple Watch came out, I was into that. And then watches, one of my oldest and very best friends, he has always been obsessed with watches. And I was always like, really? Like, why? You're weird. You're old. Meanwhile, he's like 22 at the time. I was like, dude, you're a weirdo. And then him and our friendship really escalated probably around the same time that he pulled me into watches. So I like to think that watches were a major element in that for whatever reason. And I just think that they have this innate opportunity or ability, I should say, to make you think about certain milestones in your life, certain friendships in your life. It's not about
watches.
Watches do.
Wow. Okay.
They remind me of my boss who, him and I got this watch, and it reminds me of my buddy Jared, who I'm talking about. It reminds me of this time in my life where I'm juggling a million different things, and I'm single, jumping around New York City as a young 30s, whatever.
That's funny. That's how I feel about perfume.
I've heard that from a number of women.
It's very like, it reminds me of things and people and places, and
that's so funny.
Instances in my life would be perfume. But that's really nice with watches. I mean, you're not alone in that. Like, there's a reason that watch collecting is like as big as it is.
And same with perfume. I've heard that from many people.
Wow. I mean, once you guys can tap into that watch market too, and like be at places, like I can only imagine how they would want you to be at these like watchmaking or these like watch Rolex, whatever conference, like whatever they do. They like go to Miami and the watch things.
Are you sure you didn't do a full prep study on us before this?
Well, I just sometimes get fed these like watch videos because I do like watches.
No, because our original distribution channel in like early 2024 mid 2024 is when we switched, but our original distribution channel is exactly what you're describing. It was basically gift with purchase at watch boutiques. So,
and that's where, and that makes sense at Breitling.
At Breitling.
Yeah.
So, you buy a Breitling for $10,000.
Yeah.
Oh, take an Heir to make it smart. We'll throw it in for free. Because
sick.
How many watch boutiques interact with customers who can afford a Rolex, who want to wear a Rolex, but are ultimately married to their Apple Watch? This is going to remove that barrier of entry to that purchase. Mm-hmm. So we are friends. We are watch lovers. We are friends of the watch community. Mm-hmm. We're not always received that way or perceived that way also. But we are ultimately, we want to enable people to have their sense of style, their self-expression. We want people to feel their best and look their best. Mm-hmm. So, we are friends of that world.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's brilliant. And again, so simple. It's just like one of those things where it's like, why hasn't this been thought of earlier? Sort of thing. Would there ever be desire to do like the classic Shark Tank stuff and pitch on there? Or?
So I believe, this predates me, so this may or may not be true, but I think it's true. I believe Alex actually turned down a Shark Tank opportunity a few years ago, and I think it's just because we didn't have the sales. Alex is my partner. I think I mentioned that earlier, but Alex turned them down because we didn't have the sales and the traction and the business maturity yet at the time.
Okay.
So, as you may or may not know, Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, is like
watch guy, double watch guy,
the biggest watch guy in the world.
Right. Oh my gosh. Wow. Mm-hmm.
I watch his YouTube content all
Don't
day,
even
every day.
go on Shark Tank. Go direct to consumer. Blow up his email inbox. Get his EA's number and call them.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even need to Shark Tank it.
It's on the list. So it's definitely a Shark Tank product. It's do we need them? Do we want to go there? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it does make whether you don't get it or do get it, it does seem like it explodes the brand consistently, which is crazy knowing not only how many applicants they get, but then how many are chosen, how many go on. It is crazy how much it does for a company, but they also take so much equity.
Oh, is that true?
I feel like they do. Yeah.
I feel like they have to.
Have you not watched it?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant if they didn't take. I thought you meant Shark Tank Productions. Takes equity.
No. Just the investors.
Well, yeah. Those guys, they're sharks.
But now that I'm more adult in the corporate world. Oh my God! Stop! What the hell? I've never gotten so many phone calls.
It is Friday night.
No, I still don't get phone calls. Now that I'm more involved in working at a startup and I understand the value of equity, and I watch Shark Tank, I'm like, why the fuck would they ask for 30%? I would literally.
It's a lot.
Obviously these people are going on. They're expecting to get the shit diluted out of them, but that's just so much. I'd be so smart for him to be let's pump our sales so we can have an argument against why you should only take 5%.
Yeah. Are you familiar with Stacked, the yoga mats?
Yeah, I've reached out to them to bring them on.
So I have a connection to them. Alex, who's one of the teammates there, him and I went to overnight camp together, and he was one of the first people I reached out to for, when I was sort of getting involved with this, because he was involved with Stacked. It's somewhat similar.
Wait, no, not your Alex, not this.
Sorry, Alex with Stacked.
Okay, yeah.
Fair though.
Overnight camp?
Yeah. So Alex is married to Taylor, who's one of the co-founders for Stacked.
Okay.
And Alex with Stacked, him and I went to overnight camp together as kids.
Okay.
And I reached out to him for some advice. This is my first time being in direct to consumer. This is my first time in this type of space. So, him and I had some back and forth, and ultimately I met Taylor, who's one of the co-founders at Stacked, and we were talking about Shark Tank a little bit. But at any rate, what I was trying to get at with bringing them up in the first place was just talking about how helpful it's been to have advisors in this space where, like I said, I have basically zero experience in what I'm doing. So one strategy that I've been trying to impart is to basically surround myself with advisors who have been there and done that, and then take my knowledge of the business and what we have won and lost at so far, and sort of cherry picking the best advice from all of those people that I've been meeting with and leveraging. Yeah.
So everything you're doing for the company are you making it up? Do you have any directives? Because that can be the hardest part. Sometimes I show up at work too at the startup and I'm in sales too, it's very you can be in your own lane and exist in your own lane. But sometimes I'm what do I do today?
an amazing question. And it's been one of the biggest learning curves of how to do. Because in corporate America, you're more or less, you're given an objective, you're given a bit of a roadmap, a checklist of things to do. And in this, it's evergreen. There's infinite revenue streams, there's infinite problems, there's infinite opportunities. And it's been one of the major learning curves that I've had to sort of reverse hardwire to say, maybe we should go into Google Ads. Maybe we should leverage this type of media plan. Maybe we should try and do this for a rollout plan. And I don't know, I'm just sort of BSing this, but
trying to be like really decisive.
More creative.
Okay.
And decisive, definitely, yes, as well.
Yeah.
But creative and coming up with things out of the air, for lack of better terms.
Like you're in the shower and you're like, gotta write this down.
I swear to God, the shower and the treadmill, the way I feel like I'm most productive with coming up with new and different things is I look at things and I think about them very intently when I'm in focus mode, which gets me like 40% of the way there. And then I hit a wall. So then I walk away, and then it just like sort of sometimes comes back to me when I'm in the shower, when I'm walking down the street, or when I'm on the treadmill. That's when I'm like, oh, I got it. I got to write this down. Yeah.
I'm the same at night, lying in bed, and I'm like, fuck, got to get up and write this all down.
The least opportune time.
And Dylan's like, shh. Like, I just have too many thoughts in my head. But thank goodness for technology. It makes it easier. I never have to have pen and paper. I can just literally text myself.
Yep.
Put it on my to-do list.
Totally. But that piece is such a great question, because it's such a different skill set that I have never had to been able to harness.
It's no skill set. It's every skill set in one. It's like, okay, like when you guys made the agreement for you to join the team, were they like, okay, here's some topics that you can noodle on? Were they like, we need help in these areas? Or
it's funny because when we were having that conversation, Alex was like, I'm not worried about figuring out a role or a title for you. Like, we'll just figure it out.
Okay. But he didn't give you any like directive as to...
It just sort of organically happened where I picked up customer service, and then I picked up paid ads, and then I picked up social, and it just sort of happened. And it's happening. So now we're trying to put some not guardrails, but we're trying to put in some formalities to see where this role can go to as we expand and as we grow and as we bring on additional employees, because those constructs will be important then. But for now, it's just everyone jumps on the grenade.
Yeah. Would you ever take on like interns?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have a lot of our 3 developers that we have right now are all from an internship pipeline in DePaul, which is again where in Chicago. So, hey, we're open to anyone and everyone that's interested and has good tech background.
Very cool. Oh my gosh, amazing. So what's on in April, you guys will have your next shipment.
In spring, yep.
In spring. Is there like a set amount of how many you have?
We did 5,000 orders. So they'll be in by spring. We're going through the whole manufacturing process. I sent out a community newsletter today just talking about where we are in the manufacturing process, the new software features that we're adding. And, again, I really want to be as transparent and as human to human as possible with our users and with our community, just because, who wants to hear like a robotic back and forth type of interaction? Yeah. It's from my perspective, it's really about developing trust and, again, transparency with our community. Yeah, totally. So check out the rundown. Okay, look at the rundown. Yeah. But I'm not going to get it in April. In the next one. You'll get it. I didn't pay for anything. You'll get it. We're not sold out yet. Okay. Besides that, like what is your focus over the next 6 to 12 months, or something that you're really excited about? And if you can't say, you don't need to say. No, it's all good. I could speak for my personal goals, and then I can try and think of some for the company. So personally, like I said, I'm excited to get into the creator content world, where hopefully I have some... So you mentioned Equinox influencers that float out about their male people? Primarily men, yes. No, it was actually Printing House. Sorry, it was Printing House that I met some people that were in the influencer space. But I really want to I want to get outside of just my community. I want to do this the right way, where there's tons of different platforms that you can leverage to get formalized introductions to influencers, set up like sort of business relationships, if you will. But I also just think it's going to be just a cool experience to be able to get inside that world that I know so little about. So that's one thing I'm personally super excited about. The other is I really am trying to challenge myself to being better on social and documenting these next X amount of months where I am juggling all these different things.
Well, have you ever considered just hiring for that?
We have, yeah.
Okay.
We have. My pushback on that is I really want this, and this, like, my biggest obstacle with this. I really want this to be as organic and I want this to be my voice, because I think that my story a lot of people can relate to, and I really want it to be as homegrown as possible.
Yeah.
And it's a major angst that I have.
An accountability roadblock you have. Like, you have to hold yourself accountable to start posting.
It's that, and I'm camera shy.
Yeah, but you can get over that.
You think? Were you camera shy before getting into this?
No, because literally I grew up with my mom being like this. Fake camcorder. So the fake, I've mastered the fake smile. I've mastered the being able to turn it on. Like, so yeah, not really, but yeah. In that case too, like, give it a run. But a lot of founders that I talk to as well are like, this is just not for me. Maybe we like try to divide up the telling the story between the people you have on the team, between you and Alex, to see who's a little bit more comfortable with the camera, because it is nice to have the founder story, and it's important now in this age of consumerism and brands and just the decision fatigue with so much being out there, to at least have the human behind it. And I know it's really core to your thing, but if it's not working out and it's uncomfortable, like, don't force it, because people will feel that, and at that point then it's probably like, let's bring someone in to help us share our story.
Yeah.
So much of like you having to like film yourself and shit. So
yeah, it's a really good point.
Yeah. Okay, so sorry, that was so interrupted.
Not at all. It's a good point. So
Influencer marketing. Your story.
Those are the two things there. Unlocking other sort of incentives to share the device, and unlocking maybe some more industry standards is probably how I'd bubble it up, where I'm constantly learning new best practices, and I'm constantly learning what the gold standard is for direct consumer hardware products. So just, implementing those kind of things are my top goals for the next X amount of months.
I guess for the company, it sounds like are the company goals are they way further out than your personal goals, or?
So I would say company goals for the next 6-12 months is, in terms of V1, it's going to continue to refine that experience and squeeze as much juice and enhancements and software features that we possibly can to ensure that this is like the gold standard for everything that we're promising, for everything that we're stating that we can do. So, everything that's basically possible within the current form factor is going to be our immediate goal. Beyond that, putting all of our chips into a second generation Heir. So biting into more of the market share and adding more utility, to the second generation. So more advanced biometrics, more advanced sensors, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Getting all of that blueprinted out and getting that R&D really ironed out is going to be a major experience for us as well. And then ultimately just growing as a business, hiring the right resources, hiring the right technical resources. We're fundraising right now. Okay. Yeah, we kicked off a pre-seed basically around the same time as we shipped our first 1,000 units. Alex has taken on the mass brunt of it, and he's done such an amazing job of doing it, because it's super time intensive, and it's basically just like a sales game. It's a formula, it's a calculus. So I've definitely done my fair share of it. I have not had as many wins as he has, but I've partaken in some of the conversations, and they are fun. And it's kind of like this. It's having the same level of conversations, just maybe with a little bit more weight, because people are putting in their money, of course.
What are some reasons, if you feel comfortable sharing, that people are like, no?
I think the main obstacle is sort of what I was describing earlier in terms of consumer electronics and wearable technology and hardware is very very difficult. There's a lot that can go wrong with this business, whereas, with a SaaS company, a software company, you can fail and you can fail really fast, and you can quickly ship new product and ship new bug fixes. Hardware, it takes months, it takes years even to get that supply chain in a place that you want it to be. Yeah. Right? So there's just an added layer of complexity and difficulty and risk with hardware. But at the same time, things aren't the way that they used to be, that they were 10 years ago. Supply chain has gotten so much more efficient. We've gotten so much better as operators that there is a lot less risk than there was, but it definitely still has that stigma. And again, maybe for good reason, where it is extra difficult. It is very hard to operate proficiently. Yeah. So that's probably the number one biggest obstacle.
Yeah, but like probably similar to the like attitude that Whoop and Garment and all the other guys got when they stepped into the investor room.
Absolutely.
So it's like there is a case for it.
Absolutely.
You guys will find the right people who want to step in to be like advisors and investors. Do you guys have any, maybe do you personally have anyone that like helps you navigate this time in your life right now where you're juggling a lot?
Yeah, I mean, I have a handful of advisors. Like I said, the people from Stacked have been great. There's been other coaches that are more in certain swim lanes of my role and of my description, but I lean on my friends a lot to help me with my priorities. I mean, they have their own priorities, like they're having kids, which that's more than my side of hustle. Yeah. So, how do they circumvent those issues? How do they get around those problems? And, I lean on my friends a lot to help me these past few months and years, I guess.
They feel great about your social media.
Yes, they do.
You're single, right?
I'm single.
Okay. I have a lot of female listeners.
There you go.
A lot of female friends.
I love it.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate you sharing all about the amazing technology you guys are developing and help people learn more about themselves and wear their SIG watches too.
I love it. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.